Hello everyone. So in this particular video we are going to do a practical. We are going to see how actually we can copy a data from Azure Blob storage to Azure SQL database. So we have a business requirement. First we'll try to understand the business requirement, then we'll think about the solutioning part, and then we will do a practical. So let us understand. We have a data that is available in a blob storage as a CSV format. So in a blob storage, CSV data is available. That data you have to copy into the Azure SQL. So whatever the data is available in a blob storage CSV data, that data you have to copy into the Azure SQL in a tabular structure. So that is the requirement we have, and we have to create a data factory pipeline for that. In real time also you will get a scenario like this, where you have a data is available in one storage account as a CSV, JSON or any other format, and that data you have to copy into the SQL database in a tabular structure. So for that you have to create a pipeline. If you get this kind of the requirement, what kind of the step you have to follow, let's try to understand. Let's think about the solutioning part. So first thing you have to define, you have to understand what is your source. So my source is a blob storage as a CSV for. What is my target? My target is SQL database tabular format. So first you have to think about the what is your source, then you have to think about what is your sink or target. So that part is clear, right? Now next thing you have to think, because we are going to copy that data in a tabular structure. So for that you have to create a schema for that. First you have to look your file, what file is available into the blob storage. So let me show you the file first. So this is the file which is available in a blob storage. Employee ID, name, salary, address, location, email, this kind of the file we are getting. Now if you had to copy this data into the SQL database, so for first thing you have to create a table for that. You have to create a schema for that, table schema for that. What is schema means? I will define a schema like this. So first I will check what is my source file. This is the source file. In this source file I am getting employee ID, name, salary, address, location, email, right? So similar kind of the schema I will try to create a table in a Azure SQL database. I will try to define all the column like employee ID, name, salary, address, location, email, so that the all the data I can store into this particular table in the all the columns. So we have created a schema, we have defined the schema also. Now next thing is like what activity we are doing a copy activity. After that we'll try to create a data set. One data set we will create for the blob storage, one data set we will create for the Azure SQL database, and to connect with the blob storage we will have one link service, and to connect with the Azure SQL database we will have one link service. So that are the steps we are going to follow. Let's do a practical and let's understand more. So I open my Azure portal.azure.com. I'll go to my blob storage account. So this is the storage account I have. I have already created a blob storage. If you haven't created blob storage, you can click on the create and you can create a blob storage. Once you will create a blob storage, click on this, go to the container. Here we will create one container, or we will try to store our file. So I will give a container name as an input. Click on the create. In this input container I will try to store my file. So that will become my source file. In a real time this kind of the thing will already be available, because we are doing a practical, right? So we are trying to do a setup for all. So I'll try to copy, I'll try to upload this file. Click on the upload. So this is the file which I uploaded into the blob storage. If I'll show you, I'll go to that, click on the preview. Now you can see we are able to see our data. So our source is now ready. Now what is the next thing? Next thing is the SQL database. So I will search for the SQL, open in a new tab. So how to create a SQL database, that we have already covered in a last video. If you haven't created a SQL database, first thing is like you have to create a database. Please do watch the previous video where we have covered how to create a SQL database. Once you will create a SQL database, click on this. After that we have to go into the query editor. You have to pass username and the password. Click on the OK. Now you can see we have a Azure SQL database. Here we can create a table. So you can see in a table all the tables are available. But what actually we are going to do, we are going to first create a employee table. So I'll copy this, I'll try to paste here, and I'll try to run this. Once you will run, you can see query succeed 0. Run select star from employee. I shouldn't get any error. You can see we have a file, we have created a table, and that employee table should be available here. So let me refresh this. You can see this is the employee table we have created. So we have created an employee table that will become our target location. Now what we have to do, we have to create one data pipeline which will copy a data which is available into this CSV file into this particular table, employee table. As of now there is no data available into this particular table. So how that this data will come, we create a data pipeline that will copy a data from a CSV to this particular table. So for that we have to create a Azure Data Factory. So I'll first search for the data factory, open in a new tab. So you can see this is the data factory I have created. I will click on this, click on the launch studio. Now we'll try to create a data pipeline for that. Now in data factory, once you'll open this particular screen, you will see you have to go into the author. Now come to the pipeline. We are going to create a pipeline. So click on this, click on the new pipeline. Now the first option, move and transform, you can see copy data, because we are performing a copy data from a blob storage to the SQL database, right? So I will select the copy data here. I will just click and the drag here. Now you can give any name. So I will give name as a blob to the SQL so that I can understand what actually this pipeline will do, blob to the SQL. After that we had to set up a source and the sink. You can see the source and the sink, right? What is our source? So source is the blob storage, source is the blob storage. So for that we have to create a data set. So what we will do, we will create a data set. Click on the new. My data is available in a blob storage, so I'll select a blob storage here. You can see we have a multiple option. So what you can do, in a search, you can search blob storage. Click on this, continue. Which format your file is? CSV format. So I'll select that. Click on the continue. After that we have to create a link service so that we can connect with our source. Click on the new, give a name, blob a link service. After that you have to select your subscription, you have to select your storage account. After that, test your connection whether you are able to establish a connection or not. If it is successful, then click on the create. After that you have to specify your file path. So I'll give the input and this particular file. If you have a multiple file, then you can give star.csv. So it will take all the CSV format data. That also we can do. Now I'll select first row as header, click on the OK. Now your source is ready, your data set for the source is ready. How actually you will verify it's working fine or not? Click on this preview data. Once you will click on the preview data, you shouldn't get any error. If you are getting error, means there is something fishy in your source creation. So click on the preview data, you should be able to see your data, because in a source we already have data, right? So we are able to see we have employee ID, name, salary, address, location, email. Means our source is now ready. Now what we have to do, we have to do a setup for the sync. So for the sync also, what we have to do, we have to create a data set. So I will click on the new data set, sync data set. What is my data set? Data set is Azure SQL database. So I will search SQL database. You can see Azure SQL database. I select this, continue. For this also we have to create a link service so that we will be able to connect with our SQL database. Here we have to pass a subscription, you have to pass a server name, this is the server, and you have to pass the database name. So this is the database we have created. So I will pass the server name, database name, and the SQL authentication, your username and the password. I will give my username and the password. and I'll try to test the connection. Testing connection is important because if any error here only it is coming, means you can debug like it is a link service issue. You can debug like in database or server, any kind of the issue is there. Now click on the create. Now link service is ready. Now you can see you have a table name. So here you will be able to see all your table. So what is your target table? Target table is employee. This is the table we have created. So I'll select this, click on the OK. Now my target is also ready, because as of now in target there is no data, means our source is ready, our target is ready. Source we are able to preview our data, in sync there is no data, but once you will run a pipeline we will be able to see a data. Now after that what you have to do, click on the validate. If any error comes, here it will come. Click on the validate all, click on the publish all, click on the publish. Now we'll try to run a pipeline and we'll try to see whether our pipeline is running fine or not, whether it is copying our data from a blob to the SQL or not. First thing, you have to publish it, and after that you can see publish is completed. After that you have to click on the add trigger, and we have a two option, trigger now and the new edit. We'll see about this also in depth. First we will click on the trigger now because we are running a pipeline. So if you have to run manually, so you can click on the trigger now. Now your pipeline is started. If you want to monitor, left side, go to the monitor, and here you will be able to see your pipeline. So this is the pipeline which is running, and here it is giving a status as a in progress. Once it will complete, once it is succeed, then you should be able to see your data in a SQL database. If any kind of the error comes, then the failure message will come. So let's wait whether our pipeline is working fine or not. You can see it is coming as a failed. Now let's try to debug. So how actually you can debug? Click on the error. Error is saying like operation on blob to the SQL failed. Failure happen on sync side. Means our target side there is problem. In invalid column name, the column LOC is not found in the target. The column name is not found, that actually it is saying. Now I will go to my pipeline. I'll click on this copy data. What you have to do, click on the mapping, click on the import schema. Now you should be able to see all the mappings are fine or not. So you can see employee ID from the source is mapping with the destination, name is mapping with the name, salary is mapping with the salary, address is mapping with the address, but for location there is no mapping. So I'll click here, I select the LOC. LOC is mapping with the location, email is mapping with the location. So that's how we have to debug. We have to select the mapping properly. Now this means employee ID data should go into the employee ID, LOC data should go into the location column, email data should go into the email column. After that, once you do a changes, click on the publish all, click on the publish. Publish is completed. Now click on the add trigger now. Click on the OK. Go to the monitor. Now you can see it is in progress. So let's wait and let's see if any other error comes, then also we'll debug. Debug is important because while debugging only we'll learn more. So you can see now it is succeed, means our data should be available there. So I'll go to the database. Now if I'll try to run a select star from employee, I should see a data. Click on run. Now you can see in our employee table we have a data available, and that is exactly same what we have in a SQL CSV. That is exactly same what we have in a CSV file. All the data actually got copied. Location and email you can't see any data because in a source file also you will see location and email is blank. So that's how we had to create a pipeline and we had to debug. I hope you got idea.